If you think altcoins are dead, you're probably looking at the most bullish setup they've had in 4 years. Let me explain this. Altcoins have been losing value relative to Bitcoin for the past 4 years. Even though Bitcoin went from $15,000 to $126,000, we didn't get the altcoin season. Compare to Bitcoin alts at their lowest level. That's why everything feels bearish right now. The other's BTC index, which measures the performance of all altcoins combined against Bitcoin, has been in a brutal downtrend since late 2021. This is about to change big time, hopefully. The chart shows that altcoins are extremely oversold, especially against Bitcoin, like they were just before the huge 2021 altcoin boom. RSI and MACD are setting up exactly like they did before previous altcoin seasons. Big macro events are coming. The Federal Reserve is about to start printing money again, cut interest rates, and the November inflation rate came much lower than predicted. These conditions historically make altcoins explode upward. But before QE starts, we need S&P to go lower. Bitcoin had its moment. Now it's time for altcoins to catch up, possibly very strongly. With all the bullish fundamentals and liquidity, we think once alts break out of this 4-year downtrend, we will finally see the massive gains we've been waiting for over the last 4 years. Back again to the bad news. If you've checked your Bitcoin wallet this week, you probably saw a red number. You're not alone. Everyone's talking about Japan again, and we have talked about Japan and the yen carry trade in a few of our previous videos. Japan's central bank just raised interest rates. It's only 0.75%, but that's a big deal when you've been at basically zero for decades. Cheap yen used to be the fuel for crypto. Traders borrowed yen for almost free, then bought Bitcoin, stocks, whatever. Now, the yen is getting more expensive to borrow, so everyone is selling Bitcoin to cover their loans. That's one of the reasons why the price is dipping. This isn't a new movie. In 2025, every time Japan raised rates, Bitcoin dropped hard a week or two later, sometimes 20%. Same pattern again. But here's the part that matters. These rate hikes eventually force the world's central banks to do what they always do when things get too tight. They start printing money again. And Bitcoin absolutely explodes when there's a ton of new money floating around. We saw it in 2020 and 2021. So right now, the market is just doing its usual scare everyone routine. It looks ugly, it feels bad, but it's usually the final shakeout before the next leg up. If you're long-term bullish on Bitcoin, this dip is probably your friend. If you've been waiting to buy more, this might be the moment. And if you're already holding, just remember, every major Bitcoin bull run had these oh no moments right before the moon. The dip is loud. The trend is still quiet, steady, and up. Don't panic. Breathe. And maybe smile a little. You might be buying the bottom. But make sure to manage your risk well. We might see another leg down towards 70K before the major rally. When we look at charts, we are seeing more possibilities, especially for another dead cat bounce, which we will talk about in another video. The crypto market is in full panic mode again. Bitcoin is down from its recent highs. Ethereum looks weak. And the crypto fear and greed index has been sitting in the fear zone for 7 straight weeks, the longest stretch since the 2022 bear market. Sound bad, right? Actually, it's probably the best news we've had in months. History shows that prolonged fear in crypto is one of the strongest buy signals. When retailers are terrified and selling everything, the smart money quietly accumulates. Then, once the fear peaks, prices explode upward. Many analysts, including prominent Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor, believe we're at exactly that turning point right now. The FUD cycle is playing out again. Every major crypto bull run has been preceded by a wave of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. In 2018, they said Bitcoin is dead forever, and we got the 2020 to 2021 bull market. In 2022, FTX collapse, Terra Luna crash, and then 2023 to 2024 recovery and new all-time highs. In 2025, quantum computers will break Bitcoin. China bans again. Tether rumors? These stories are old news. Michael Saylor himself said that if quantum computers ever become a real threat, Bitcoin would simply upgrade its cryptography, making the network stronger, not weaker. The same pattern repeats. First, big scary headlines will form a massive bottom rally. Then technical indicators will scream oversold. Bitcoin's weekly RSI just hit its lowest level in over 3 years, a level that has only appeared at major bear market bottoms. Ethereum's 2-week RSI is also at levels seen during the deepest lows of past cycles. When these indicators are this oversold, reversals have historically been sharp and powerful. Lastly, global liquidity will hit record highs. The Federal Reserve is once again pumping money into the system. Global liquidity is approaching all-time highs. In the past, every time liquidity has surged like this, risk assets, including Bitcoin and crypto, have gone parabolic. So what does this mean? The market feels terrible right now because everyone is scared. But that fear is exactly what creates the opportunity. When a crowd is panicking and selling, the big players buy quietly. Once the panic ends, the price often surges as the weak hands are gone and the strong hands are loaded. History, technicals, and macro conditions all point to the same thing. This fear is not the end of crypto. It's the beginning of the next leg up. As the old saying goes, be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, others are very fearful. That's why many believe the next big crypto bull market is already quietly starting. Stay calm. The fear won't last forever. If you want to know what's actually happening before everyone else, hit that subscribe button.